Shalom. I am Rabbi Nathan Davidovich, speaking to you on behalf of the Yeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. The subject of my short Torah lesson this evening is how Parsha Akev, this week's Torah reading, teaches us the illusion of self-sufficiency. There are a number of references in this week's Torah reading that teach us, if we only listen, that everything that happens to us is a result of God wanting it to happen, not of our own specific actions. And there are a number of references. The Torah at the early part of the weekly reading says, Ki lo al halechem levado yichya adam. It is not by bread alone that a person lives. Ki al pi motzei pi Hashem yichya adam. A person lives only by what Hashem wants, by what comes out of Hashem. Hashem is controlling everything. And the Torah reading later in the same Parsha goes on to say, V'yamartem bilvavecha, you will think to yourself, Koach v'yotzem yadi, my own power and the might of my hands, Asali esachayal hazeh, has brought me all of this wealth. When you reach the point that you think that everything that is happening, your riches, your successes, whatever's happening in your life is because of what you're doing, then what you are doing is setting yourself up to fall from a closeness to God. The Torah says, later on in the same Parsha Akev, the second paragraph of the Shema Yisrael. And in that paragraph it says, Hishamru lachem, be careful, pen yiftel levavachem, that whether your heart will turn, v'sartem, and it will turn away, v'avadatem Elohim acherim, you'll serve other gods, you'll serve idols. And you'll go so far as to bow down to them. The Satmar Rebbe, Rabbi Yoel Teitelbaum of blessed memory, once asked, how is it possible? On the one moment you have a God-fearing Jew who's observing Torah and mitzvot, doing the commandments, and the next minute, Basartem, he's turned and he's worshiping other idols. And the answer that he gave is, Basartem is a slow process. It doesn't mean he all of a sudden turned and became an idol worshiper from having been a religious, observant Jew, but rather he starts turning ever so slowly. So he doesn't really realize that what he's doing, he starts turning away from a life of gratitude. God created this world and gave us all of these rewards that we have on a daily basis, all of the miracles that occur to us, the miracle of life, gave us the ability to earn a living, to raise families, and somehow this person starts thinking slowly and slowly. He starts forgetting to thank God. And he thinks that I did it all. It's all my doing. And therefore, that process, that slow process, can result in him worshiping the idols that he's created for himself, the idols of the gold and silver that he thinks were his own doing. And the sentence I read earlier, where the person says, I have caused all this myself, it goes on, the Torah goes on to say, V'zochartu es Hashem Elokecha, you should remember the Lord your God, ki hu hanosei l'chol koach. God gives you the strength, la'asos chayil, to earn wealth. L'man hakim es beriso, asher nishba l'avasecha kayom hazeh. To fulfill the covenant, the promise that God made to our forefathers, as that is still the case today. This concept of realizing that what we see, what we do, really is an illusion as to the effect on our lives. Yes, we have to do things. We have, you can't just sit in a corner all day and say, God, give me parnas, give me food for my family, unless you're at a very high level. You have to go out and work for it. But to think that your work is causing it is foolish. And it's illustrated by the following story that Reb Shia Twersky, Alav Shalom, of blessed memory, brings. In Yellowstone Park in the United States, there is a geyser called Old Faithful that erupts and spews out water at a particular times of the day. So there were these two pranksters who decided they would fool the people. So what did they do? They went to a junkyard and they found an old steering wheel and a shaft from a car, and they decided they will go close to where the old geyser, Old Faithful, would be erupting, and they would plant the shaft in the ground. And they did that. And sure enough, a group of tourists came by, and the tour leader is telling them it's a miracle of nature, but at the same times every day, this geyser erupts. And it's going to happen now in just a few seconds. At that point, they hear one of these pranksters saying to the other, okay, Frank, let her rip. He goes and he turns the steering wheel. And, of course, old geyser erupts. Old Faithful erupts. The geyser erupts. People seeing this can think, this is just a man-made thing. They're turning the steering wheel to bring the geyser out. That's the illusion. And that's the illusion that we see in our own lives oftentimes. And we think that we're self-sufficient, that we can do it all ourselves. And it only looks like what we are doing is causing this, but it is not. What is causing everything that we have is only through the hand of God. Only through being thankful to God for what we have and keeping up that concept of thankfulness no matter where we are, no matter what's happening, whether seemingly good things are happening to you or seemingly bad things. You should never think that I did this myself. You should always think that God has given me the ability to do this, and that is what we should be thankful for. I thank you for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat, a Shabbat where we can truly feel the blessings of God surrounding us, the light of God surrounding us. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.